They hold a conference every year in Munich, Germany, where they discuss global securities and security needs and things, and it's basically just another excuse for the elites and the people that are in power to justify their positions and the salaries that they make. Anyway, this particular year, they got together with a lot of different state level, you heard me correctly, state level, not federal level officials from the United States of America who showed up at this conference just to trash the President of the United States of America. So let's just get right into it, shall we? Anyway, we're going to start this off with a link from CNN, February 14th, 2026, Valentine's Day. Secretary Rubio addresses allies at a Munich security conference. Marco Rubio is the Secretary of State for the Trump administration. He should be here. He is a federal level official. He is the Secretary of State. He is like one of the only people that should be at a global securities conference, okay? So let's see what happened, all right? Let's see Secretary of State Rubio address some reassurances to European leaders in Munich.
At the Munich Security Conference after the speech of Secretary of State Marco Rubio. And Rubio did have a lot of criticism for America's European allies. He accused them of what he called possible civilizational erasure, saying that there were some severe mistakes he believed that European countries were making, among them allowing what he called mass migration, deindustrialization, and also, as he put it, following a green climate cult as well. At the same time, though, the Secretary of State seemed to be extending a hand towards the Europeans, saying that...
Yeah, he showed up and he said, listen, all of these crazy money laundering schemes for, like, global green energy and shit like that, yeah, that shit stops now. We're not doing this anymore.
Europe and the United States belong together.
Correct. Europe and the United States should be working together, but the United States should not be footing the bill or taking all of the blame for everything.
Should be proud of what we achieved together in the last century. But now we must confront and embrace the opportunities of a new one.
Good.
Because yesterday is over. The future is inevitable.
Yes.
And our destiny.
The future is absolutely inevitable. Invest in graphene right now.
Together awaits.
Now, one of the other major topics here at the Munich Security Conference was, of course, Russia's ongoing war in Ukraine. The U.S. Secretary of State saying the Russian...
Yeah, boy, has that war really shown the world that Russia was, like, the definition of a paper tiger, bro. At one point in my life, I really thought, I was like, okay, if the U.S. goes to war with Russia, that's going to be a big problem because, like, sooner or later, the two biggest dogs in the yard are going to have to fight, and... boy, was I wrong. Russia is, oh my God, dude. I bet a state-level National Guard could take on Russia's military and win.
Say that they want peace, but that negotiations, while there has been a lot of progress, still remain difficult. Another thing that certainly impacted the Munich Security Conference was new allegations by several European countries about the death of Russian opposition figure Alexei Navalny. He, of course, died.
I don't know anything at all about this.
In a Russian prison colony, almost to the day 2 years ago. And now the European countries say that analysis of Alexei Navalny's body shows that there was traces of a toxin that is linked to an Ecuadorian poisonous dart frog.
All right, so they shut him up. Okay.
And they believe that he was poisoned in prison. Now, I asked the European...
They Epsteined the guy. Okay, what was he in jail for? I have no idea. This is like a whole Russian thing. I have no idea what any detail about that case.
A foreign relations chief about all of this, and here's what she had to say.
Well, it's not really surprising, is it? I mean, he's working like regular dictators are working. I mean, eliminate all the competitors and, keep the power structures and oligarchs happy, and you stay in power and you can do whatever you want, even if, the people are not pleased.
All right, so it's just an attack on... All right, okay.
It's a long way to go.
I'm with you.
Use dart frog poison, isn't it? That's on someone who's in a prison colony anyway.
Yes, but I think it also shows how the Russians are thinking, exploring new ways to actually use. So this is the way they operate against their own people, against people in prison.
Some pretty strong words there from Kaja Kallas towards the Russians. We also did reach out to the Kremlin and ask them about these allegations. So far, we've...
Okay, all right. So CNN decided not really to cover anything other than some sort of stupid Russian guy that's in prison, which, to be fair, but they did cover a little bit about how Marco Rubio was showing up and trying to give the our European allies like some reassurances, right? And what the fuck do the Democrats do? Because again, there were state-level Democrat officials that were at this like federal level national securities conference, right? Why in the hell were there state-level officials there when this is a clearly like supposed to be a conference for members of like federal level like governance, right? Like this is a securities conference for nations. Why do we have a Democrat governor there? Why do we have a Democrat House representative there? Why do we have former secretaries of state there? Why do we have any of these people when they have no, like, it doesn't make any sense to me. So we're going to cover that right now. This is Fox News. This is Governor Gavin Newsom. This is AOC apparently blasting Trump on some climate change policy at this securities conference. And again, the U.S. is far from being the leader in carbon dioxide. The U.S. is far from being any kind of relevant when it comes to a carbon footprint when you stack them up against other countries. So having the U.S. do anything for green energy, so to speak, right now is a moot point at this point. If you are angry with the United States for the way that it handles its green energy agenda, then you're just brainwashed by the left in America to think that the U.S. is terrible. In reality, the United States is near the bottom of the list in terms of carbon footprint. If you actually cared about the global carbon footprint, you would not be focusing your attention on the United States, and that's just the facts. So again, this is Fox News. This is them covering what's going on. So let's see what they have to say.
Down on stupid.
Okay, all right. Apparently he's doubling down on stupid.
California has been a leader in climate policy going back to Ronald Reagan.
Absolutely, and whenever you had a fucking state level national emergency with your wildfires, you had no water in your fire hydrants because you're so good at your green energy policies.
1967, Governor Ronald Reagan.
Also, Reagan is way better than you are and way different than you.
Established the first tailpipe.
You see him subtly trying to go, listen, I'm just like Reagan. I'm also a governor of California.
Created the California Air Resources Board 3 years later.
Also, he's been like campaigning all over the world, really trying to get his name out there as like a national level Democrat, right, instead of just a state level, because he's termed out in terms of being a governor, so he can't be the governor of California anymore. So and I predicted this a while ago. Him and AOC are going to be on the ticket. I think that's why they're here. I really do. I think that they're trying to get more familiar with other nations so that they can go and I went to this securities conference. I have a good relationship with XYZ. Vote for me for the president, because they don't have anybody else. Like AOC and Gavin and Governor Gavin Newsom are the only two people that have any kind of political clout on the Democrat side. So they're really the most likely to be on the ticket, and I think that's why they're here. Just full transparency here.
President by the name of Richard Nixon, another Republican, codified California's leadership under the Clean Air Act. Never in the history of the United States of America has there been a more destructive president than the current occupant in the White House in Washington, D.C.
Oh, really? Can you give me some examples, please?
He's trying to recreate the 19th century.
How so?
He's a wholly owned subsidiary of big oil, gas, and coal.
How so?
He's quite literally reopening coal plants in the United States of America.
Great.
He's received close to $500 million in campaign contributions.
So?
He asked for $1 billion. Look it up. In return for basically eliminating all regulations in the United States of America.
This is a moment where we are seeing
you're going to have to be a little more specific than that, Governor Gavin Newsom, because I guarantee you he did not say that.
Our presidential administration tear apart the transatlantic partnership.
Oh, please explain how, other than wanting to assert dominance in our hemisphere, because we literally are the power in NATO, and we are the power in any partnership that we have.
Rip up every democratic norm, and really calling into question.
Every single person sitting behind her has their legs crossed. What the hell?
As was mentioned by David Carney at the World Economic Forum, the rules-based order that we have, or question mark, do we have? And so I think one of the reasons why, not just myself, but many of our colleagues here, in fact, many Democrats that are here as well, is because we want to tell a larger story.
Do you?
No,
you just want to show up and bash the president of the United States on the world stage any opportunity that you get. And you show up and go, hey, listen, we want to work with the EU. No. At first you have to say, listen, Trump is doubling down on stupid. Even though you're not going to at all present any sort of evidence that would suggest that. And you're also not going to present any sort of evidence that would suggest that your plan is better, because we know damn well that it's not.
What is happening...
Oh, sorry. No, your plan is just socialist everything, right? More taxes on the people in one way or another to make sure that the government has full control of all things in society. That's what you want.
Is indeed very grave. And we are in a new era, domestically and globally. There have been many leaders who've said we will go back. And I think we have to recognize that we are in a new day and in a new time.
Okay.
But that does not mean that the majority of Americans are ready to walk away from a rules-based order, and that we're ready to walk away from our...
What the fuck do you mean rules-based order? What do you... they start using all of these terms, and I don't think they actually know what they mean. I think they're just bullet points that they have to hit every time they give a speech.
Our commitment to democracy. I think...
my God, bitch, he won democratically. What are you doing?
What we identify is that in a rules-based order, hypocrisy...
In a rules-based order, everybody has voter ID.
...is vulnerability. And so I think what we are seeking is a return...
And the hypocrisy of the Democratic Party has turned out to be its greatest vulnerability, which Trump is exploiting to the greatest degree that he possibly can. And it's glorious.
Turn to a rules-based order that eliminates the hypocrisies around when too often in the West we look the other way for inconvenient populations to act out these paradoxes, whether it is, kidnapping a foreign head of state, whether it is threatening our allies.
Are you fucking kidding me? We did not kidnap a foreign head of state, okay? We forcibly arrested a Venezuelan drug cartel leader who just happened to be a president in that country that lost an election and then chose to stay in power anyway. He was a narco-terrorist dictator in every sense of the term, and you are taking his side, and that is going to be your greatest mistake. You want to be on the Democrat ticket for president in 2028, and you are taking the side of a narco-terrorist dictator. Do you hear yourself?
Allies to colonize Greenland, whether it is looking the other way in a genocide. Hypocrisies are vulnerable.
Gaza was not a genocide. They did that to themselves, and there's a lot of evidence to suggest that Hamas did a lot of that bad shit, like starving their population.
Vulnerabilities, and they threaten democracies globally. And so I think many of us are here to say...
I'm telling you, dude, they're just bullet points that she has to hit every time she gives a speech.
We are here.
She has to work it in somewhere.
For the next chapter, not to have the world turn to isolation, but to deepen our partnership on greater and increased commitment to integrity to our values.
No, it's not going to be isolation. It's not at all going to be isolation.
Casino allows you to super.
It's going to be a one world government, sure, but it's not going to be isolation. All of the states within the United States work cohesively for the most part, aside from when the Democrat-controlled states want to fucking do their own thing, which is a whole different conversation. What we're going to do is it's going to be the United Countries of America and the United Countries of the world. And it's going to be an American organized government that puts the will of the people over everybody else. And whether you like it or not, AOC, Trump did win democratically both the Electoral College and the popular vote. And at some point, you're going to have to come to terms with that, as though the 2016 election was the only one that was ever perfect, and every other election, particularly the ones that the Republicans won, were definitely just wrought with Russian fraud, right? Listen, I would take Russia over China, but both of them are kind of garbage. And for whatever reason, the Republican Party is the only party that can say that. But I've said it before, and I will say it again. Gavin Newsom and AOC are going to want to be on the ticket for the Democratic Party for the President of the United States in 2028. I really do believe it's going to be a Newsom Ocasio-Cortez ticket. I don't know which one's going to be at the top. I think what they're doing right now is campaigning all over the globe to try and drum up as much political clout as they can, and whoever has the most is going to be at the top of the ticket, and whoever has the least is going to be at the bottom of the ticket. Now, I know I've been saying that for a really long time. Turns out Fox News is finally agreeing with me. So, I mean, honestly, I don't think I even cover them anymore. I think they cover me for the most part. Let's see. So let's cover them. They're saying that AOC and other 2028 Democratic hopefuls called out for slimming America during the Munich conference. So let's see what they have to say, huh?
Democratic presidential hopefuls are on the world stage testing out their foreign policy chops at the Munich Security Conference. They're also slamming President Trump in a ploy to woo progressives ahead of 2028.
Donald Trump is doubling down on stupid.
Yeah, we covered this. He doesn't explain why at all. He just shows up to bash Trump and then doesn't give you any kind of explanation. He just needs to show up. He needs to hit the bullet points in the conversation, and then he can dip out. That way, all the news articles have their headlines.
California has been a leader in climate policy going back to Ronald Reagan.
So much of a leader that they didn't have any water during a wildfire. Wow, thank you, California. So much of a leader that they're driving all business out. Wow, thank you, California.
They are looking to
Hashtag fuck that fish.
withdraw the United States from the entire world so that we can turn into an age of authoritarianisms.
The unpredictability, the instability.
Maybe we need a space king, you know? Maybe we need an authoritarian, a glorious golden man, so to speak.
The putting our allies at arm's length has come with a big cost. We're in worse shape than we were 14 months ago.
So
No. I mean, European countries are definitely. The United States is actually doing much better now than it was 14 months ago.
let's bring in Fox News contributor and former Assistant White House Counsel Hugh Hewitt. So great to see you this morning, Hugh. You know, it is kind of amazing. A year ago, J.D. Vance went to the same conference and actually called out European leaders for failing to uphold the most basic human principles such as freedom of speech. And then you have this group of Democrats who want to be president going.
Yeah, no, for real. I've been saying this for a long time. They're really just going here so that they can drum up some more political clout for themselves.
Over there and sliming America and groveling for attention from these people. It's quite the difference.
Charlie, good morning. It's shocking and it's disappointing that we are on the edge of a major crisis with Iran. President Trump is masterfully managing the buildup of forces around Iran.
Can we talk about the masterful play that Trump taking over the Venezuelan oil was? in terms of like the battle against China. China gets a lot of its oil from Iran, Russia, and Venezuela primarily, right? The fact that there is a lot of political turmoil over in Iran is hindering their exports. The fact that the U.S. has put an embargo on all oil coming out of Venezuela has hindered China's imports. And now Russia, who's been in an ongoing 3 years long war that was supposed to take fucking a weekend, and that everybody thought would take a weekend. Now that Russia has been drummed up in that for a little while, their stores are starting to get a little low, and they're needing to use their resources for themselves, for the war effort. So China's getting less and less oil imported as time progresses, and that's really bad for them because China's navy primarily runs on diesel, and if China cannot import diesel, they don't make diesel. They don't have any kind of like natural oil deposits in China anywhere, so they don't make diesel there at all. They can't make crude oil any fucking where in China. They have to import it. The fact that China's military primarily runs on the thing that they can increasingly get less of is a really big problem for them. Russia turned out to be a paper tiger, and I think China is going to rot away because it literally cannot power what it has made. And I do think that that is going to cause China to be forced to invade Russia to take over its oil so that they can start producing their own oil. Either that or they're going to have to invade Iran, one of the two. Either way, it's going to force more conflict in that region, and the U.S. can just watch.
Lines, you got to give us what remains of your nuclear.
I mean, because we're about to get Alberta. We already have fucking Venezuela. At that point, we control like 40% of the global oil.
Nuclear program that was obliterated. We have to have your missiles. You have to stop supporting terrorists, and you have to stop killing your people. He's laid it out. He's given them about a month or so, or there will be extreme trauma. So we have hundreds of thousands of American men and women in the Navy and the Army in harm's way. And we get AOC, Gretchen Whitmer, and Gavin Newsom sliming America, as you say.
Yeah.
And it's not like they're making...
It's not about what's best for America. It's not about what's best for the world. It's about getting themselves some more political clout because now all the headlines can say, AOC bashes Trump at Munich ceremony. Gavin Newsom goes nuclear on Trump administration at Munich conference. That shit.
Sweeping statements. AOC is like a...
It's all political clout. And, you know, honestly, I don't think that I'm the only one that's seeing it. I really do believe that everybody can see this plain as fucking day. It is all about political clout. This is all a stage, and you can tell that the only people that actually give a shit are the people that are willing to go, no, we're not going to do that because that's not good for us.
Parade of cliches. A model UN student who didn't get enough sleep. She is not going to win anyone's admiration for saying imperialism shouldn't be rewarded. She said that. She accused us of kidnapping a foreign leader. She's referring to Maduro, who's a gangster.
I know. I said this when she said it, right? Like fucking earlier in this. I called her out for it immediately, bro. I am with you 100%. I just wish that you guys were with me saying this months ago when I started doing it. Definitely watch those videos on my channel and definitely subscribe while you're there because I've done videos about this before and I've been saying it for months.
Everybody in Venezuela is happy.
God, it feels good to be vindicated, man. Definitely subscribe for more true comments about things.
President Trump went and got him. Gavin Newsom should be in L.A. He should be rebuilding Pacific Palisades, which isn't. He should be fixing a deficit, which is enormous. There's 75,000 people on the streets of L.A. I don't know.
Yeah, and they're wanting to tax billionaires, actually, 5% of their net worth. Yeah, you heard me correctly. Net worth. You know who's leaving California right now? All the people that make money.
Why he's in Davos and Munich. Gretchen Whitmer took her stand.
Oh, and also like 30% of adults in California can't read.
And with Mark Carney, who insulted us at Davos. So it's really disappointing, especially with American sailors, airmen, and Marines in harm's way. I've never seen it before.
It's such an important point and needs to be remembered when these people are actually openly running for president. But it's also kind of strange, you know, and I know you remember back in 2007, 2008, when then Senator Barack Obama was needing to sort of brush up on his foreign policy chops. He also went to Germany to give this big rally.
Yeah, I know. That's what they do. They go there to these liberal countries and they give some sort of speech about how they hate the conservative guy that's currently in the office, and that allows all of the news stations to get their headlines about how X person said this or went nuclear on this or fucking bombs Trump or whatever, right? Like, it's all about political clout, man. And again, I'm not the only one that sees it. This is just plain as day at this point, and everybody is seeing it, okay?
Housing speech. What is it about Democrats that they always feel like they have to go on these global world tours to impress people outside of the United States of America in order to prove their value for running to
Political clout!
be president of the United States?
Don't worry about it. I got you.
Coastal elites in America.
Listen. I'm giving them their answers. In a couple of months, they'll be with me, okay? They'll be saying that the Democrats were doing this for political clout, all right? Trust me. That has been the pattern so far.
In the blue states have their counterpart at the Munich Security Conference. That's not the Europe that is voting on excluding more migrants. Switzerland is going to vote on a referendum. It's not our allies in Japan, which is in the middle of a crisis with China, by the way.
Oh, yeah, by the way, Japan has gone full conservative, man. They're about to bring back the Japanese empire.
Ishii has got a Chinese fishing boat.
And you know what? As long as they don't stop making anime, I don't care.
They're not going where there's problems. They're not demonstrating any kind of competence.
I'm all for it, man. U.S., Japan, and India, and maybe Poland. Yeah, let's do it. All of us. We got it.
And they're simply incapable of communicating American strength. If you contrast what they did yesterday with President Trump down at Fort Bragg, which was a display of strength intended for the Iranians to see that we can go anywhere and do anything with the American military, and that the troops love our commander-in-chief.
That is absolutely 100% correct. We can go anywhere and do anything we want. We can deploy a Burger King in 24 hours anywhere on the planet. Try us. We have laser beams and microwave weapons.
As opposed to the Iranian people hate their leaders. That contrasts so sharply with that display in Munich yesterday. I don't think they did themselves any help, Charlie. I think they hurt themselves badly yesterday.
So AOC was asked about running for president, and this was her response.
Oh, I want to hear what her response is.
So
Show
when
me.
you run for president,
Will you run for
are you
president?
going to impose a wealth tax or a billionaire's tax?
I don't think that I don't think that anyone, and that we don't have to wait for any one president to impose a wealth tax. I think that it needs to be done expeditiously.
She is not answering that question.
All the energy in their party.
She is not answering that question.
Is behind the AOC wing of the party. And as she states there, she wants...
Let me just state that the AOC wing of the party is the wing of the party that just voted in socialist jihad Zoran Mamdani to be the mayor of New York City, one of the most populous and wealthy cities in the country of the United States of America. And then they found out that his mom's in the fucking Epstein files, and they made him flee his mansion house. They fucking tried to break in, dude. Oh my god. That wing of the party is okay with eating them like themselves alive.
Wants to go full crazy.
And I'm so glad that I get to watch it over the next over the 2026 now? Over the next 2 years, it is going to be glorious to watch the Democrat Party eat itself alive.
Left-wing wealth confiscation. Is that going to destroy the party?
Yes. Charlie, I think she's going to be their nominee. She's a tremendously talented...
I think she's going to be on the ticket, probably, and she's definitely going to be, running the Democrat primary to try and become the nominee. For sure.
Politician. President Trump has told me on my program that she's got a lot of sparkle, but can she do an interview? Everyone knows she's going to be their nominee. The billionaire tax, Gavin has one
You know, ironically, if Fetterman were to be on the ticket, he would get more fucking votes than she would.
on the ballot in California, with the predictable result that the billionaires are fleeing California and California's deficit's going to become enormous. It doesn't work. It's a fantasy land, candy land kind of.
Yeah, I know. It's just that the Trump administration cut all of the federal funding that they were getting for their illegal programs that they were running. And so now Gavin Newsom has to find some way to make up that money because, well, he fucking laundered all that money, so he doesn't have it anymore. And the best way that he could go about doing that, given what his base likes politically, is to tax the billionaires. And so now the billionaires are leaving, and they're also not going to give him money anymore for his political campaigns. So that's interesting to know. They're all going to Florida. I did a whole thing about this. What is it, like last Wednesday, I think? I know the videos haven't come out yet on my channels, but they will. Don't worry about it. And they will definitely come out before this one. Anyway, so yeah, that would be Democrat state-level officials, for whatever reason, going overseas to a national level conference, like a national securities level conference, for no reason other than to bash the Trump administration and to raise their political clout. They don't actually care about fixing any of the problems that they want to brag and like fucking bitch about, but they do care about raising their own name, because the only thing that they actually care about is themselves. And you would know that if you actually paid any kind of attention. Appreciate anybody that was here. Appreciate anybody that watched it. And I will see you guys on Wednesday. All of the links for all of my things will be in the description of my video. I will see you guys next time. Bye.